Today we're going to be working on setting up my new NAS. For those of you who don't know, NAS is short for Network Attached Storage. Basically, we're going to be setting up these three terabyte drives to basically serve as my new media server. A little background: this PC was my media center in the living room. We got it on Newegg for like $130 or something, super cheap. It's got a i3-2100 in it as well, and basically this was just directly replaced by the PCS3. So to make use of this thing, I decided to turn it into a NAS and have some file storage in here. So that's what we're going to do today. So before we can get started, we need to do a little cleaning because this thing's been in service for like a year. Alright, so crack it open here. I've already pulled out the other drives in here, as well as put in our new disk drive caddy. I'll do a time lapse of that here, show you guys how to do that. Basically, this just functions as a hot swap, but we aren't ever actually going to be hot swapping unless something's seriously wrong. So we're just going to set this drive aside because we actually don't need it for this, because we only have 3 hard drive bays and we have 3 NAS drives, so no room for that. So what I was saying about cleaning is we need to get in here and dust this little bugger off because it's really gross. I don't think you can see it from there. I have cats. They're gross. My initial plan was to take a vacuum and clean this off, but it's pretty late and the squish is in bed and I don't want to wake her up. So we're just going to use this vacuum brush and try to brush it off. Much better. So the next thing we need to do before we throw the drives in here is to install the operating system onto the thumb drive we're using to boot from. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'll be right back. Alright, so like an hour later, finally finished installing the NAS software. We're using Open Media Vault. No real good guide on that. I'll link the guide that I used in the video description. You can check that out. It's a pretty boring process. You just kind of click buttons and watch it run, so I didn't bother filming that. So now we're going to install some drives, which is the fun part. So I figured I'd bring you guys along for that. So let's get started on that. I haven't had a brand new hard drive since like 2005. All the ones I've been buying have been refurbs or recertifieds or what have you. So having brand new is so strange to me. But I figure for a project like this where your data integrity is key, it's kind of important to get new drives. But not only that, but drives that are actually rated to run 24/7 for like 5 years straight. Ooh, it's sealed. Alright. So anticlimactic. But they're HGSTs, what do you expect? Alright, so this has some weird drive mounts on it. And it came with a few of these guys. That's what was on that 250 gig originally. But we took those off and we're going to put them on this guy. But it only came with the one set for that hole. So I'm not really sure how we're going to mount the second drive yet. The third one obviously goes in the hot swap bay here, which is super simple. I'm just gonna snug these down. I don't know, we'll figure it out when we get there. Okay, so it's super tight under there, so we're gonna have to use, I originally intended on replacing the cables in here, but that's not really gonna be possible with that drive. So drive 2, we need to unplug the hot swap bay first to get it in here. So this guy's supposed to drop in and lock in right there with those same mounting mechanisms, but we don't have any more of those screws like I mentioned yet. So I'm not really sure what we're supposed to do here. We're going to use the screws that came with the docking station here. Hot swap bay. Hot swap bay is the word. Because they have pretty big heads on them, so maybe that'll help. The magnetic screwdriver. So you can't get to the bottom one down here because of this little clamping system they're using. So we'll be able to put 3 screws in this guy. But let's hope that that's enough. Tension each side a little bit at a time until it's in there securely. Okay, so plug in the data cable back on the drive bay up here. We do not have a cable for that one. This data cable goes here. More slack on that. There. Drop it in. Ooh, that's tight. Wow, it's a tight fit. I'm going to show you guys that in a second. I was going to route this cable around nicely, but it's a lot shorter than I thought it was. So we're just going to drop it into its SATA slot there. Just kind of tuck it under. Drive 3 is an easy one. Okay, so this guy slides in like that. Locks right in. We have to make sure this power button is pushed in here, because that's a thing. That's pretty much the end of that. We just button it back up and go set up the RAID. But we're going to be using all software RAID through Open Media Vault. So we're going to attempt to use Snap RAID to set up a 3-drive pool as opposed to an actual like ZFS RAID, so that we can add more disk in the future. But I don't know if that's going to work or not. So that's going to be probably an all-day project for tomorrow. So I'll let you know. Alright, so we got all the software set up on the NAS. It took literally forever. I think it was 15 hours or something like that of software work to get it up and running. I'm not going to do any more video about software configuration like that. I will leave some links to the guides that I use down in the description below. What I am going to do is I'm going to take some time and do a write-up on my blog about this. So it was way too much to get into a video. It would just take forever. I don't have proper screen recording software for it, so I'll do a typed write-up on that. And whenever I do get that posted, I'll put a link to it. I'll probably do a card here and a link in the description. But that's going to wrap up this NAS project. Hit that like button. Cool stuff coming up soon. I'm actually already started on the next project, which is pretty exciting. I've actually started recording that before I recorded this, but whatever. But yeah, hit that like button. See you in the next one.